Here we are recording live. This is a review about coaching call. First session with a client. There has been happening a deep transformation with some inner work. He just is about to come back to reality and he will speak about his experiences. So he mentions things he has gone through, how he's feeling now. He makes a lot of eye movements and frowning in a way to, of course, as the body language to describe his experiences that he has been having. So I'll pause this video from time to time where he's going through that. It's a conversation with me and him, and I'll give my commentary on how to interpret these things. So let's get this going. This is still some final work from the session here as a start.
I'm free of work. What about that? What if she comes up with that stuff? Can you imagine that? How would that feel in your body? Is that even related to that seed that was like planted in your head, slowly creating shape, and over the years started to grow, spread over your body, like like colorful flowers, ease, peacefulness, What if that seed created all these responses now?
This describing of these flowers and everything and the seed, that's to refer and to add up to the work you have been doing.
Because that is something that we have seen has come to fruition in those areas. Now while you open your eyes for a moment.
Okay.
You see the trouble of going back, like he has gone very deep.
Yeah.
Feels good. Yeah, feels good.
Feels good. I'm quiet to see what else comes. There's a smile and the eyes start moving, you will see.
What feels different?
I don't know, I feel like that sensation that you were talking about, like when the seed was planted and everything. I don't know, that sensation has remained.
So he's talking about a sensation he felt and he said right away, that sensation has remained. So it's right here.
So far, I haven't lost that in my body, especially my head and my chest.
So in the head and his chest, that's a feeling, it's still there.
That's remained. I feel like more motivated, I have like, I don't know, maybe it was.
So his eyes are up, he's creating pictures, he feels motivated. He sees himself doing stuff in new ways.
I don't know if it was obvious, but...
And this is the thing, I don't know if it was obvious. Like for him, it's now like how come I didn't see that before, Imagine like looking at a picture, there's something to see, you don't see it, and someone tells you, have a look there. And then you see it, and then you cannot unsee it. And it's like obvious because it's visible now. That's what he's referring to.
But well, you were making questions about how I felt in those imaginary situations. I told you that I was expecting the worst, right?
He was expecting the worst, right? He started frowning. Like, how come I've done it like that?
I was expecting the worst, but to be honest,
he's shaking his head, like, to be honest, and then he's like...
wasn't aware of that. I don't know why.
He wasn't aware of that. So that has been a pattern, a very persistent negative pattern that he was not aware of it, that we have changed into a positive one. That's why he is now a bit confused, like, how come I wasn't aware of that I have been doing it like this?
But it's the first time I think I say it. I was always expecting the worst. And I don't know why I couldn't see that before. It sounds obvious to me right now, but I didn't see that coming, and now it doesn't feel like the big thing, It's not like...
And it's also the frown, it doesn't feel like a big thing. So it has a different frame, a different meaning.
Like a big deal.
How does it feel now then, if it's not a big thing?
So now I'm very curious. If it's not a big thing, what do you actually feel right now then? Like to just trying to put some words on what is actually there.
I don't know. I had this during this last part of this meditation. I don't know how to call it. Is it a meditation visualization thing? I my my 7-year-old version, my 18-year-old version were supporting me. Like maybe I'm not so sure when it comes down to approach a woman, and it's like having them on my.
So approaching a woman was the context I've been working with. We've been transforming fear in that area. The exercise we went through 7 and 18-year-old versions of himself, and he now comes up with some new language, which he describes as he felt supported. So we've been doing some work, and now the subconscious gives it a meaning of feeling supported.
Back telling me go for it, do it. I had this impression of me right now, and I feel like motivated. I feel like decided to try. Like it's not a big deal. Like maybe I'm missing many opportunities, and I from now on.
So there's decisiveness, there's motivation, and he uses the word from now on. So he's clearly talking about the now and the future.
See what happens. Because I don't know what can happen. Maybe it goes wrong, but if I don't try, I won't know.
And he's like, he is excited about what's happening. There's an adventure spirit. Like, I'm excited. Let's explore. At the same time, there is already working with a possibility that the outcome is not as expected. Like, what if it goes wrong? For example, what if a woman ignores me or something like that? But there's a very clear, sensible ease. Like, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. So there's an ease to it. It's not like, oh, what if it goes wrong? And panic. It's just, if it doesn't work out, then it's fine.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel about exploring that?
You're asking more about that excitement?
I would like to try and see what happens. I would like to know what it feels like, even if it doesn't work. I mean, I hope it works, but even if it doesn't work, I would like to know what that's like again.
To know what's that like again? Like, that's interesting language, because if nothing would have changed, he would say, yeah, I already know how that feels. But now I would like to know that again, so that it's a new experience is waiting for him.
And maybe to see how I feel after some rejection as well. I don't know. It doesn't feel that bad, It doesn't feel like it's a big deal.
That's already the subconscious speaking with associations. We've installed some stuff that even if a rejection happens, it won't feel bad in any way. So that part is now speaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you try to go back with your memory, like going back to a moment where it actually was a big deal for you, like that moment way back in the past, in the old ways, when things were like a big deal, and how does that feel? Can you even go back?
This is just some language stuff to try to him to go back to how it was. Curious to how he experiences that. So imagine like extreme scenario where someone has been traumatized, like hearing a sound of a grenade, or like a sound at night, which the person associates with panic and with grenade sounds of the war. If you heal stuff and you ask that person to go back, how does it feel now listening to that sound? Then of course you don't want to have that association with a grenade coming up again. So this is kind of like why I asked that question. Let's see what he responds there.
I don't know, when I was looking at my 7-year-old version.
When I was looking at my 7-year-old version, he's already starting to smile. So there is no more of this fear and this rejection that was actually present in his initial memory, being 7 years old. That is now already changed. You see how he relates to that memory?
I don't know, it was funny, to be honest.
It was funny.
I remember that it was stressful by that time. But
it was stressful at that time, so he remembers a little bit like, yeah, before I thought it was stressful, but he's smiling like it doesn't feel stressful anymore right now, going back to that memory.
It's not that complicated. Just do it, go for it and do it. And it still feels that way.
It still feels that way. It's not complicated anymore. It's easy. He uses the word funny and he's smiling.
It feels like it wasn't such a big deal.
It wasn't such a big deal. That's now after the change work.
But maybe during all this accumulating all those bad experiences, all those rejections, I don't know, I created like something bigger. I don't even know how to call that, like a shadow, a bigger shadow that's been chasing me so far. But it's just a shadow. It's not even a real thing, maybe. It's all in my mind. I feel that, I mean, I need to process this. I think this is going to take me a while to process because I had many thoughts during this visualization, had many thoughts.
This is where the rationale is trying to come in, with seeing these events in a timeline where things accumulate and add up. That's all a different world, but for him he tries to make sense of it. He even says he needs to process it, but that's just the mind trying to catch up on these things, while a change has already been made right there.
I'm going to think about it for a while, but at least what I can take from now is that it wasn't a big deal, but I have been carrying that with me for really long.
I have been carrying that for me for very long, and this is also like it's an expression of why have I been doing that instead of why am I doing this. See the difference.
And it's been exhausting. It's been exhausting. It's been like even a waste of energy sometimes. It's energy that's lost. It's not something I can recover, but it's something that I can stop doing at least.
It's something that I can stop doing at least. So that before was not possible and not language. If someone is stuck in a pattern, then you cannot have that choice.
It's all just happening and bypasses the thinking then. Good? Yeah. That was it, man. Happy you got something out of it. Now it's time to test. Let me know how it goes for the next couple of days. Give me an update, maybe in the weekend, maybe the week after, Let me know how things are different, feeling wise, approach wise.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think I'll for a while. I'll try it out as well. But thank you so much. I mean, it's different. Thanks to you now.
So it's different.
Made some ideas come. I'm more aware of what's going on with me. Like I told you, even when something like I'm always expecting the words is obvious until it.
I was always expecting the worst obvious, and that's again the frown, like, why have I been doing that?
This time. And it's interesting because I couldn't pronounce those words before, but now it's interesting that I can say it. And now I like the idea. I feel more, I don't know, I feel free.
So here's the thing, he feels free.
To some degree, I feel freer and I feel better. So thank you so much. That's been very, very good, a very interesting experience.